One. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hi, I'm Ian channel doing another analysis video, and this time we're doing our first coach interview. In case you didn't know, you are actually the first. Say hello.
Hey,
Yep, we got our friend Inversify here, coach of the Philadelphia Scolopeds.
oh, hello.
All right, and he agreed to do a nice little interview for us for Beedrill. So we'll start this off by asking a little bit about yourself and how you've come into competitive Pokemon. So how long have you been into competitive Pokemon?
I've been into competitive Pokemon. I've been into draft for about 2 years. Before that, I was an off and on OU player in Pokemon Showdown for a while. It's just when I first started playing, it was probably like 5 years ago, and I'd only do like random battles, and I wasn't very good. Just became a lot better.
Yeah, I gotcha. We all got to start somewhere. And random battles are definitely a good way to get used to it. Just get used to what Pokemon can do and stuff. So, what got you into doing Draft League though? Like, when did you start? Well, I know you started 2 years ago, but like, what made you want to get into it?
Hanging out in the team building help room on Showdown in Maine. Somebody asked for help with a team. It was like an OU team, but then it had a bunch of weird mons, and I was like, "Why are you bringing it had stuff like Kofagrigus bringing this stuff into OU?" And he kind of showed me. His name was JF. He was actually playing against Own Hive, and in case you didn't know, JF is not the greatest player ever. I got destroyed. But he kind of showed me like the league, and I was really interested in it. And they happened to need a sub, so I started joining. And then from there, I kind of just on different leagues, and now here I am today.
Oh, I gotcha. So, so, so we'll go on to the aspect of what we're in now, Hive. How long have you been in Hive?
I've since season one. I think Max got me in after I was playing in one of the tours, and I did like relatively well for season one of the Hive, but I wasn't in the CBA or anything.
Oh, I gotcha.
I've been Kakuna this entire time, but now I'm Beedrill.
Yeah, artificial promotions.
Much.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with Kakuna. Kakuna's been my home every season I was in this, and that's why I'm analyzing for this league. Um, so what do you think of the competition in Kakuna this season? Since you said you've been here from the beginning, how do you think the competition stacks up to previous seasons?
Well, I think definitely this is a bit of a harder season, and it kind of shows on my record because it's always been like the middle of the pack, and now I'm kind of like the 75 percentile. Obviously it is a harder league, and being 2 and 3. Traditionally in Hive, I've always strong early record and pretty much faltered in the last few weeks. And I can basically pull a reverse, and I was 1 and 3, but I'm hoping I can pull it back to maybe like 6 and 4. Or 5 would be fine.
Yeah. I definitely think you have the potential, and like, despite what I said in my draft analysis, I still feel bad about that. You actually have a really solid team and everything, so I definitely think you can pull it back.
The only pick that I got sniped on, Ace sniped me, but then he dropped Comfy, and now I have my exact draft plan.
Hey, that's always nice because I did actually forget to mention like how you usually go into drafts, like what type of drafts that you usually are. Are you a hyper balance player? Are you a hyper offense player, balance player, more stally player? How do you like to win games?
I'd say I generally play more balanced. I definitely enjoy drafting wall breakers. Didn't know my season 2 Hive team, the average attack stat was 121.
Holy crap!
Black, Mega Heracross, and Kartana.
That's
But
insane.
yeah, I like drafting some good wall breakers and then some like a good defensive core as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I could see, and bit of a personal question, I guess. Why did you end up preferring Comfy over Slurpuff? How do you think that's going to benefit your team?
Well, I just think I just wanted a fairy mainly in this tier. It's just a better overall mod than Slurpuff, as well as it gives me another defogger. Because if you look at my team, I have Mega Scizor, who doesn't really love running defog, which has like 7 different moves it wants to run each week, so it doesn't really like love running defog either.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Who is kind of more of a matchup bring than anything. So I like Comfy because it still gives me that threat as kind of like a sweeper mon because obviously the call mindset.
Yeah.
But then it's also just very good as a pivot and a defogger. So I do have quite a few pivots on my team, and Comfy just adds to that where Slurpuff didn't.
Ah, I gotcha. I gotcha. That makes a lot of sense now. Thank you for clarifying, because I was personally skeptical when you drafted it, but now, well, traded for it. But now that you explained it to me, I think it makes a lot of sense. So, touched up on this a bit before, but how do you like playing with your team so far this season? Is it has it been fun? Do you regret the team that you drafted, or do you wish it was different, or do you like it the way it is?
Well, this is actually a lot of mons that I have that it's like my first time using. I think it's my first time using Infernape, using that, and as well as my first time using Mega Scizor, and I think I'm still learning how to use it to the best of its capabilities. I think that it's more. I think I wish I had like one more like speed tier in between Voltion and Infernape. It's like just a little bit too big for me personally. Gap. But overall, I generally enjoy playing with my team.
I gotcha. Because yeah, building and prepping with your team is half the game, and you need to like building with the team you got. So, um, final um, final question about the Hive season. What do you think of the changes that were made this season? Because I know there's been a lot of them. We added a point system. We added like the fact that it's the top 8 players and not conferences anymore. What do you think about the changes to Hive this season?
Well, for in terms of conferences, like it being top 8, I mean I can see where they came from because I last season in Hive Kakuna, I think it was like a 4-6 team made playoffs and a 6-4 didn't, 7-3 that didn't if he had won.
Yeah,
So there was a little bit of potential there, but I personally still rather have it be based on your division, just because the people that you're playing a lot. I think if one division ends up being like somewhat weaker, um, the people I think that like people who play that division more often will have like a better record to show for it, and it's kind of unfair. I'm not like super upset about that. In terms of the changes to like the points that we earn for like divisions moving up and down, I think that was a really really great idea. Um, I think they tiered it super well based on like how I've looked at it so far, how all the tier ships. I know it's like still mid season, but based on the way that um, the divisions are shaping up as if the season would end now, I think it's definitely working. People would want like they would want it to. So I think that was a really great change. Any other changes that I'm missing?
Um, there probably are, but I can imagine, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I think you covered the main ones. So overall, you would say the changes are fair, even if you do miss divisions.
Oh, I like the changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. Like, as for the divisions, I know personally I got in a team with a better record than me didn't get in, and I did feel bad for it. So yeah, I can definitely see where they're coming from. But it's nice to get your opinion on it.
I'm not like super angry about that change. It's just something that like I wouldn't do it if I was running the league, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, divisions do.
And why they did it, and I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, divisions determining matchups. It's yeah, I get it. So, one more a couple more questions. What would you say is your biggest strength as a battler? Like, be it prep wise, play wise. What do you think really helps you in terms of draft league?
It's a tough question. That given me bringing like non-standard sets, I think that can be definitely a big strength of mine because I don't really do it that often. So I'm not really like super known for bringing a ton of. I think being able to in certain matchups just be able to like kind of swing the tide, predictable set. It's definitely a good strength of mine.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, just being unpredictable and being able to throw your opponents off. And hey, bringing conventional sets and then mixing it up a week. That's a strategy in of itself. So, uh, one more question about battling. How do you like the current Gen 7 meta, like with all the changes that were made in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, just Gen 7 in general, and how it stacks up to earlier metas?
I really am not that big of a fan of Z moves. I think I like the Gen 6 meta more than I like the Gen 7 meta.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that games ran longer in Gen 6. I think that's a good thing because it having more to think about. I don't know. You could almost call it macro play, but like end game in terms of like, oh, what do I need chip on? Instead of saying like, oh, just throw on a Z move and you can just beat your counter.
Yeah.
I think also, it's when I say this because I think my play style was a little bit better in Gen 6. And I don't know, it's a little bit outdated now in Gen 7, but it is what it is.
I mean, yeah, I get you. Z moves themselves just completely changed the meta and stuff, and the fact that in Gen 7 we didn't even get any new Mega Evolutions. I'm more inclined to agree with you on that one. So, we'll move on to the last segment, which are just a couple personal questions, I suppose. Move on to this. the first one. If you had a Pokemon that you could draft over and over again, what would it be?
I think there are quite a few good ones. Bullipede. One of the reasons I have it as my mascot is just because it's my favorite Pokemon. I just love all the versatility it brings with, like, it has generally 3, like, really good sets with, they're all, like, almost completely different, which is something that I really like. Like, you need to bring something different to beat Sword Stance as you do to beat Hazard Sack as you do to beat Speed Pass.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the fact that Speed
Aspect.
Pass is... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, the fact that Speed Pass is allowed in this league really does allow Pokemon like Scolipede to shine.
Yeah, and even though I don't really like Z moves, at least it definitely helps out Scolipede a lot. So that is like the one situation where I am thankful for Z moves.
Yeah, lets you bust through things that Life Orb sets really can't bring, because last gen Pokemon like Scolipede either would have to run a boosting move item or a Life Orb, but here you can just, like you said, slap on a Z move and OHKO the one thing that you couldn't before.
Exactly.
So, um, you also entered the one. If you could, one more. What's your dream match? If you could battle anyone in the draft Pokemon community, the draft Pokemon scene, who would it be? Who is your dream match to go against?
Hmm. Of only like a few like almost like celebrities in the draft league format that I would enjoy playing. Stomped by all of them. It was just if it was just to play someone, I would probably want to play against Joel. If I wanted like a really good match, I'd probably say TDG because every time I play him, it always seems to be a really really good match, and no matter how many times we play.
That's great. I'm glad you have someone that you know that you can always have a good match against. So, as we're nearing the end of this interview, I'd like to say once again thank you for your time and thank you for coming on.
Having me.
Yeah. Before we end, is there any final comments you'd like to say? Anyone you'd like to call out or anything?
Just get my roast session up here real quick. But yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I keep it chill.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was Inversify, and we'll see you with more coach interviews. You'd like to say bye to the people?
Also, sub to Ian because he produces a lot of great content.
Hey, thanks.